hope everything's okay. Now, when I say penny for your thoughts, I'm trying to say that sometimes some people say face-to-face interview is better. Some say online interview is better. I think there is no fixed answer. But nowadays, because of the pandemic, most companies, they are conducting interviews online. So it's better we say online is good. You know what I mean? So online is better. So we cannot say that, oh, online very difficult, face to face better. No. We don't do that. Okay. So I hope everybody understands that. So now we will focus. So I'm going to try to focus more on online. So the question whether online is better or face-to-face is better, no answer. No answer for that, okay? Yeah. So I hope everybody can hear me clearly. The next slide, I can. Okay. The penny for your thoughts. Hold on. Okay, gentlemen, ladies, just give me a minute to go to the slide. Can I move from here? Okay, mental preparation done. All right. So remember, so now face-to-face interviews nowadays outdated. Everybody wants to use video conferencing, online and things like that. So we have to see, even me, I have no choice. We have to move with technology. And of course, I have to mention these differences worthy of being mentioned, meaning we must, in our mind, we must ask ourselves today, which is better, online or face-to-face? So let's tell ourselves, online interviews are better. So that way, we will be more prepared. Are you with me? I hope so. So think carefully what I've just said. I will now move on to the next slide. The next topic. Here, you can see it. Okay. All right. It's not very important. You are now going for your interview. All right. Okay. This time is your interview. The interview may be in your room, in your house somewhere. So of course you have to check the Wi-Fi and all that, right? So by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. So you have to prepare, like what happened to me, right? Sometimes online, your Wi-Fi will go, your laptop will give way, things happen. So you really have to prepare. Even though mentally, language-wise, you're okay. But if you are not prepared, you have to have some plans to protect yourself. Read up the job. Yes. The job you are applying, you must check first. Read up the company. What is the job expectations? Apa yang dikendaki dalam pekerjaan itu? What is important? So you have to read up the responsibilities of the job specifications. You have to read up everything. It won't be easy. You can check with my good friend Google. You also can Google, right? So you read up everything, what you're supposed to know, and things like that. So remember, if you don't prepare, won't be good. You are not ready for your interview. Brush up on current news, okay, and trend. Number three, it means the job you are applying, is it hotel industry, IT, HR, teaching, apa-apa lah, it can be any industry. You have to go to the internet, go to read up. What is the latest 2021? Not 2020. 2021. You got to read up. Read up, check with your friends, and things like that. Then the company where you are applying the job, you have to study the company, what is the company, study the company, what is the company's background, earlier, before this, you got to, hold on, go back to the slide again. Yeah, your research. Next one. All right. Pure research. All right. So, no, this one different. Okay. So, study the company you're applying. I cannot mention company names here, right? But you tahu kan. So, whatever company you check their website, their value, their press release, their social media, and things like that. You just check, find out what the company is looking for. And then, of course, you need to practice also. Before the interview starts, or if the interview say on Monday, on Saturday or Friday, you prepare. You read up and things like that. So which means you have to do your research. The research, this is what we mean by research. You read up. So an interview. So let's say tomorrow, say I'm applying a job, human resource, for an oil company. Example, okay, an oil company. So I will probably go and read up on the oil company, what they do, how big is the company, who are their staff, how many departments. That's for HR. If you're applying for an IT job, then you read up on the company, what they are using, what IT system. You know better than me. So the person who is applying for the job knows better. They have to apply. Right? Are you with me? I hope you are. So,
yes, sir, we are with you, sir.
I will now move. Okay, good. Now we are moving on to the next slide. Okay. Next slide, huh? Yeah, don't worry, it's coming. So research is very important. Now, why I put this here? Tips for acing your online interview. Bagaimana untuk dapatkan kerja itu? Acing, you're going to win the interview. Meaning now, you are sitting there, you are telling the interviewer, this job is mine. Give it to me. So how? Online interview. Dress professionally. Of course, isn't it? You are now not meeting your interviewer, but still you dress up. You wear, if you're whatever, ladies or gentlemen, right? You dress appropriately, proper colors, so that your interviewer will look at you professionally. Remember, professional, everyone. Professional. Okay. Then you see I put eye contact. That's right. Look at the interviewer. Like now I'm looking at the webcam. So you also look at the webcam or Make sure your eyes don't go somewhere else. Go there, don't. Look at the webcam. So that, but it's very difficult, online. Online, when you are face to face, you can look at the face. Online, sometimes, when you are looking at the webcam, sometimes the interviewer will think you are not looking. So you have to really check your laptop and things like that so that you will be able to capture the interviewer's attention. The interviewer should not say, this candidate, this calon, is not looking at me, is looking somewhere else. So never look anywhere else. Look at the interviewer. Look at the webcam, right? Then I put body language. So if you like this, you move forward like this. See, you show your body language. Smile. And when they speak, you sit up. So your body language, you must show the interviewer that you are listening, you are interested, berminat, 100% attention to the interviewer. You cannot afford to let the interviewer think this candidate is not looking at me. You see? Because remember I said earlier, the elimination in slide 1, the interviewer is looking for the slightest excuse. This candidate no good, cut off. So you do not give the interviewer any chance. But do you know, I've heard of stories. Sometimes face-to-face interviews, people have gone for the interview and the interviewer looked down. The person is sitting across. The interviewer is looking down. The interviewer never even looked at the interviewee. Never look. What to do? When you are applying for a job, the interviewer can do anything he or she wants. So our job is to make sure that we keep looking at them. So remember, body language, very, very important. So overall, dress professionally, your dressing is professional. Eye contact, consider your body language. And maybe how your hands or how you move, it's okay. Whatever it is, the interviewer must look at you and say, this person is very positive. Very positive. Okay, next one. Okay, next one. So this is how you win the online interview, you get your job. So I will slowly move to the next slide. Hope everybody is comfortable. Give you some time to relax a bit. I'm going to move to the next slide in a short while. So remember, this one. Now this one, I'm just give you a few examples. Interview. Normally people, very normal, right? Tell me about yourself. Oh, this is a standard question. So what are you going to say? Tell me about yourself. So you have to say things which make the interviewer think, wow, this is a different person. Tell me about yourself, you don't say things like, I mean, my opinion, I was born here, I was born there. No. Try to show that, you, maybe you can say, things like, I'm, I'm someone who will, when I do something, I do my best. And like when I was young, I was in school, I worked. I mean, you show the interviewer that you are a hardworking person. You you didn't have an easy life. I mean, that kind of thing. You know, you just show people that you had a hard life, things like that. I mean, depending on the job, of course, right? So tell me about yourself. This one, common online. Hold on, I think. So yes. So this is the. So you tell me about yourself. You talk about your skills, right? Then they ask you, how best do you know this company and role they may ask? Maybe you're asking for a social media expert or manager for something. So remember I said earlier, you have to read up. That's the reason. So they will ask you how best you know this company. So you must know this company, uh, where they have branches, where are the officers, where things like, maybe you can even try to check who is the CEO. Is it a foreign company? Is it a local company? So you check. You really need to check. Remember that, right? So talking about yourself, you talk good things about yourself, make yourself humble, say nice things, all professional. Nothing personal, More, whatever you say, try to try to link what you say about yourself, try to connect with the job. So the first thing, and of course, you need to search the company. What type of company is it, and things like that. And then they say, what could be your greatest professional strength and weaknesses? So of course, when you say strength, you must say something about yourself. Maybe you can say things like, I very difficult for me to say no. When someone asks me for something, I try to do it. You see, that means you're very helpful. It can also be a weakness, but it's a good weakness because you said when someone asks you for help, it's difficult for you to say no. And you can say things like, when I do something, I always give it my best shot. I'm a workaholic. I mean, whatever, your strength and weaknesses. Maybe if you're applying for a job as a chef or food and beverage, then maybe you can even say my strength, my weaknesses, I love eating. So it will be connected to your job. Why? And then why do you think we should hire you? Now this is the one you have to answer. You want to convince the interviewer, take me, I am the one who is the most suitable in the job. So what are you going to say? Why should we hire you? The company will gain. I am an asset. By giving me this job, I will perform my very best. So you have to try to convince the employer, the interviewer, take you, give you the job. because you are the best person for the job. Then, of course, there, what is your motivation for applying for this job? If you are applying for social media expert, maybe, then you say that you are always fascinated by the social media. If you are applying for a chef, then of course you like cooking. But you may be applying, I mean, there are a lot of other jobs, right? The oil and gas industry, the hotel industry, I think airlines in future, uh, motor car industry or whatsoever. So you try to relate your experience with the job you're asking. You try to link them. That means when they say, what is your motivation? You show them that, you, from where your experience from school somehow made you really want this job you are applying. Sometimes, all of you out there, some of you are fresh school graduates, your first job. Then, of course, your motivation comes in. But some of you may be going for your second job or third. Then the interviewer may ask you, why did you leave your former job? This is a very tricky question. How are you going to answer? You cannot condemn your former job. You cannot say, oh, I was not happy there, it was very difficult. No. Maybe now is a pandemic, so you can say, I had to leave my former job because the company was facing financial problems and they could not pay me. So they asked me to leave and I obliged, I agreed. Because I've been with that company, working for them, and I understand what they are going through. Things like that. Do not say I was not happy there, very difficult place to work. If you condemn your former company, then your interviewer will be wondering how come you are condemning, right? Not? So never condemn. Never condemn your former company. So these are the few online, I think, online interview questions they may ask. Are there any other questions? Well, maybe they may ask, so when can you, if you are given this job, when can you report for duty? So of course, if you are a fresh graduate, you say as soon as possible. But you already, or if you are still working for another company, then of course you say 1 month notice or 2 month notice, isn't it? So there's no problem about that. So these are the common online interview questions, I can think of. There may be other questions actually. But remember, you have to be really truthful. Oh, I remember there was an interview, but it was to face an accountant. There were two accountants applying for an accountant job. And I think they were down to the last two. And the interviewer asked, what books do you read? So the first candidate was a first class student, results very good. And he said, I only read books on accountancy. I read every other book, only on accountancy. The second person, results not very good. But he mentioned the books he read on literature, motivation, things like that. And you'll be surprised, the second person got the job. So there is no very good answer for an online question. You have to be prepared on that day and answer accordingly. But remember, never to condemn former employer. Of course, the new fresh graduates, they may ask, you have no experience. Then of course you have to say, this is my first application. I will learn as I go along. But I've done odd jobs. I work as a waiter here, or I work part-time on my own. But you must say that I need the experience. So if given a chance, I will excel. It's true that I have no experience, but I hope I'll be given the chance. Hope everything is fine. We will move on to the next slide. Yes. Next slide. So remember, the online questions, right? There will be other questions, but read up. English language, you need to read up. So at least your mind, you got words in your brain, you can just say things. Now, in the interview, you have to prove to the interviewer, I'm well-rounded. That means I'm okay, I'm all round. I'm all round. That means, so you see the first, many employers, they want experience more than education. You may be having a first-class degree, but the employers, they already know you're first class. You have sent your resume, your cover letter, so they already know you're first class. So now in this interview, they're not very concerned about you being first class or second lower or second upper. They have already called a few candidates. So now they want to see your soft skills, motivation, initiative, is it? So how you talk. So they want to see you now. So you really have to show them that you are not just a first class student, which means you only, okay, your results are good, but they want to see your other qualities. Am I well-rounded? Yes, I'm well-rounded. Not only studies, because you may be a first class student, but the interviewer wants to see whether you can come into the company, into the office, and fit with the other staff. If you lack social skills, you are in the interview, you don't talk much, you are not very initiative, then the interviewer will think, what's the point of giving you the job when you come to the office? You are just not going to mix around. They want you to be part of the company. That's the one. And some employers, they see your skills. Maybe you have got a business degree, but they also want to see your soft skills, how you talk, how you smile, how you will act during an emergency. That is what I mean. So, this is your chance. The interview, you have to show the interviewer, I'm not only a graduate, but I can also mix around, talk to people, help people, be a good friend, right? And then, of course, your resume already showed your education, formal training, your degree, and all that. But maybe they also want to see what are your social skills. Of course, some of you who are have excelled in sport, whatever you can put it in there, better, isn't it? Or in debates or what. But now with the pandemic, maybe now with the pandemic, they are what are the well-rounded? Maybe you are healthy, you're not sick, maybe, I don't know. So you have to be really, keep yourself healthy. I mean, no point of you going for an interview if you're having a cold. So I think during the pandemic, they may just brush you off because of that. Right? So, well-rounded. We'll move on to the next slide. Let me give you a 1 minute break. Yeah. Next slide, it's coming soon. Oh, it's there. Okay. As we remember, as you recall, uh, most interviews today are online. So just now we remember we did dressing, how you dress up, and everything about you. When we say your online presence, it means all your social media and things like that. Because nowadays, your Instagram, your Facebook, or whatever social media you have, you must polish it, keep it good. Because employers, they they will just, with their finger, right, go on the laptop and all, and they will check on you. They'll be looking on you at your Instagram, your Facebook, your WhatsApp, or whatever. I mean, so employers, they will really, maybe after the interview, normally after the interview, when they are already thinking, okay, I think we have to give this person this job, then they will go for your social media. They will go for your Facebook, for Instagram. I mean, I don't know, you people know better. So you better polish. That means make sure whatever is present on your social media is good stuff, which employers find nice. If your social media, you show yourself as someone who is always against everyone, then it may not be good, right? And then so like I said, right, phone through your social media accounts, remove any posts that might cause employers to raise their eyebrows. Raise their eyebrows. Hey, what is this? And for your LinkedIn, make sure all your posts are very professional, um, encouraging, motivating, things like that. No negative, uh, do not put any negative posts on your social media. So maybe before the interview, you can do it, just remove it. Leave only the positive stuff. And then, of course, come on, you're looking for a good position. Your LinkedIn, make it very impressive. Add everything, whatever professional about you in LinkedIn, so that your future employer will uh, will check you up on LinkedIn and find that wow, this person is very good. We, I think, we are going to hire him because after your interview, they already want you. So now the social media, your online presence, they want to check. That's it. So they will go and they will find very good. Your online, your social media is very professional. So nothing will stop you now. You are getting the job already. Hope everybody's okay there.
Yes, sir. We are okay. We are fine.
Okay, thanks. Thank you. All right. Now we will move on to the next slide. The next one. So online, our social media is very good already. So now we are moving on again. Remember, we want to win the job. We want to get the job. We want to get the job, right? Okay. Let's see. Now, hold on. Next one. Yeah. All right. You are now already in front of your laptop. Just now we already said, right? Your interview is going to begin now. Sitting in front. So I put there, convincing the interviewer, convincing, meyakinkan interviewer, meyakinkan, saya, I'm the best. So how are you going to convince the interviewer? Just now we went through all the steps, right? I put there, making a great first impression. Of course, a bit of repeating here, right? Eye contact, confident, smiling. Kalau face to face, shake hand. Some people now, of course, pandemic like this. All your voice, your posture, what you say, very important online. So remember, first impression, the first 5 minutes, very, very important. The interviewer looking at you, that is the most important part of the interview. The first 5 minutes. Because in the first 5 minutes, if the interviewer just doesn't seem to like you or whatever, then after that the interviewer is just not going to care anymore. So, first impression, the first 5 minutes. And remember, you are selling yourself from the moment you and the interviewer greet each other. Good afternoon, sir. You said that you're already trying to tell him, take me, give me the job. Give me the job. I'm good. So your whole interview, at the back of your head, you are just saying, I want this job. You give me this job. I want this job. So remember, in the interview, sometimes the interviewer may ask you, have you any questions? You want to ask anything? So don't ask the interviewer things like, don't. What is your company's vision? Or what? Don't ask things like that. No, no. Never ask. The interviewer asks you Any question? And then you say, yeah, so your company, how to work there? What is the culture like there? Uh, what do you like working there? It's not good. Does the company allow us to bring our own food or things like that? That means you are asking questions to see whether you can fit in. Wrong. So if any question, don't ask things like that. If if I if the interviewer says any question, uh, if I get this job, when will I be able to start? I see. Or when can I start working at your company? I think like that. I repeat, don't ask what is life there, how is the culture there, how are the people there. No, because it's not your job. You want a job there. So you go there and you adjust yourself. No need to ask things like that. You can ask this, how, when can I start the job? How soon can I begin employment? When can you give me the job? Or maybe you can ask, if you want to, what is the salary like? Why not? Do you offer medical benefits? That one you can. So remember, convincing the interviewer, meyakinkan lah. So in this interview, you have already come for the interview, you have already informed the interviewer, informed already, I'm good, because your resume you send already. You inform already. You have already informed. Inform with the resume. Now you are persuading, memujuk. Persuading, convincing the interviewer, give me the job. It's my job. So you are convincing the interviewer. Sitting in front of the laptop, telling the interviewer, this job is mine. I deserve it. Things like that. Right? So let's just move on. Okay, we'll move on to the next slide. Yeah, we'll move on. So you already convinced the interviewer. Now, of course, during the interview, like just now we saw, right, how you prepare in the beginning, how you dress up, what words to say. The interview is going on. You are convincing the interviewer, give me the job. Things like that, right? So the interview is now marking. So I put here close strong. That means how you are going to make sure that you end the interview very strong. You got the job. How? From the beginning, you're sitting there, you're moving along, you're dressing, your communication, everything is going fine, good. So how will you end the interview in a way? Close. How are you going to close? So first thing, when I say first impression, right? First impression, very important, fair enough. After this, I will try to repeat a few other things. I just go one round first. So close strong. That means you started your interview very strong note. Very strong. very strong. So how are you going to, when I say here ending, of course our talk is not going to end. Remember that we are just going one round, right? After this, we'll move back again. We'll try to repeat a few things. So you end your interview as powerful as you begin it, meaning you have to, you can, like just now I said, what can ask the interviewer? So you can, at the end, you can feel free to ask the interviewer whether they feel you are a good fit and what the next step may look like. Yeah, you can ask. So what do you think, sir or madam, in the interview at the end? So what do you think? What are my chances? Why not? I will ask. What are my chances? Or like I said, when can I get a, when will I get a job? If I can't wait, I'm eager. But if you are a working person, you are working another job, then of course you will say, I will need 2 weeks, 2 weeks, I need to give 2 weeks notice or a month's notice. So you must show the interviewer that you are very eager to get the job. Is it? So that's how when you end, you see you are talking to the interviewer. The interviewer must see you are really interested. And then, example, you are applying for company A. You are now, your job, you are applying company A. Okay. So you can say, I noticed that company B is your competitor. So, so I'm sure your company wants to beat company B. So, what aspect of the business will you want me to get involved in? So meaning you say that, say there are two companies, say you are applying for a job selling bread. Two companies, company A, company B. Company A and B, both selling bread. You are applying company A. So you tell them B is your competitor. So how do you, or what are you doing right now to beat them in business? So how can I assist when I get this new job to beat this company? Is it? So you are interested? So that means you tell them, I want to be a team player. Even though for company A, you are applying for a job in one department, but you already told them, how can you help in the competition to win B? So the company knows that you are a team player. You want to work as a team. And see, so all this show what? That you have, when you told the company A, how do you intend to beat company B? So obviously, the interviewer knows that you have been reading about the company so much that you know everything. You know already. Is it? So it'll be good, right? So you tell them, how can I help? But can you see the next one there? I think that's all. Thanks. That one is wrong. If the interviewer asks you at the end, right, do you have any questions? And you say, I think that's all. Thanks. No, cannot. You cannot answer that. Should not. You must say things like, just now I said, right? How will this company improve its business? How will the company build up its reputation? How can you assist in moving this company up? So if you say, I think that's all. Thanks. No, that's not the way. Right? That means there's no question. I mean, you're not interested. Not interested at all. So, I hope you're with me here. So, we are talking now about so now you are now, the beginning, we spoke about how you're going to uh, begin the interview, and then how you're going to close the interview. So, you're going to make both strong. Now, we will just move to the next slide and try to check back what they have spoken all the while. Hope everybody's okay there. So, how will we know? Is it the interview went well? A few signs. My interview was a success. So, the participants today, how at the end your interview was over? Is over. How will you know my interview was good? How? Okay. These are the few signs. You met everyone you were scheduled to meet. That means before the interview, when you got the email or phone call telling you that your interview is on such and such a day, of course you will ask, right? Who will interview me? Is it one person, two person? So if they told you two person, then you met everyone you were scheduled to meet. That means on that day, both the person who were going to interview were there. If one person, when they called you for the interview, you can ask, who will interview me? May I know the name? So if they already told you the person, so as long as you met that person you were supposed to meet, your interview good, perfect. Second one, the employer or interviewer share plenty of information. That means during the interview, you are the job seeker. You are now talking to the interviewer. So during the interview, the interviewer tells you, okay, our company is selling bread, our company is moving up, our company is going to open a new branch. So the interviewer is sharing with you information about the company. Wow, that's a very good sign. So if you say your job, you are applying, example, you are applying for an IT programmer. Then if the interviewer tells you, our company is now installing a new software. Do you think you'll be able to program it? You see, that means the interviewer is sharing with you new information. Very, very, very good sign. Or if you are applying for a human resource manager, the interviewer tells you, we have got 200 employees. Now we are now hiring another 50. Interviewer may ask you, can you do payroll? You see, the interviewer is asking you something already. This is already a very, very good chance that you are now leading yourself towards securing the job. You see? And then, if the interviewer, I say they here, the interviewer, they made an effort to sell you the company, not sell you in money. Sell you here means they are talking good things about the company to you. So if you are applying for Syarikat Ali and Company, say Syarikat Ali, Sdn Berhad. So if the interviewer tells you, okay, Syarikat Ali is now expanding, you know, we are doing very well. We are going to hire a lot of people. So the interviewer is telling you about the company, very, very good things, positive things about the company. That is a sign that they already maybe want you to get the job already. They want to give you the job. And then, the next one, they shared information about your potential career path and growth. So maybe you applied executive level. Then the interviewer tells you, you know, after this, when you get this job as an executive, after 2 or 3 years, if you work hard, you can move up to an assistant manager or senior executive. So the interviewer is sharing with you, telling you career path. That is very good. That means that if you ask me, the interviewer already likes you already. They are telling you about this job. If you get this job, how you're going to move up the ladder. You see? So that means you will ask. So if you are talking about, say, you are not applying for assistant manager, say some logistic company, example. So you apply assistant manager. Then the interviewer tells you, you know, after 3 or 4 years, if you work hard, your KPI is good, you can apply for manager. So they are giving you a career path. That is a very, very positive thing. Hope all are okay there. So I see we
Yes,
have
sir.
got,
So far, so good.
yeah, good, we are good participants. Yeah.
So good, good. And then, you know, if I'm normally when you're an interviewer, can you see that you felt a good connection with the interviewer? That means during the interview, you feel you can connect. You know, you feel like there's something. You know, you are sitting in front of interviewer. You can relate. You feel you can connect with the interviewer. Very good. Maybe you look at the interviewer is looking at you, you're talking, you're answering, so there is a connection. Only you know. Then very, very good sign. Later we will open up the questions, then we can try to answer. So I see the 90 participants. Okay, good. So we will talk after this. Let me just carry on. Trying to, must be a lot to digest. It's okay. So good connection. You and the interviewer got connection. You can feel it. Then the interviewer smile. Energized when talking to you. So when the interviewer talking to you, he or she move forward like this. Then you know. Or the interviewer said, pardon? That means the interviewer couldn't hear you. The interviewer wanted to hear. Then you know you're on a lucky path on that day. The interviewer is happy, is interested. The interviewer is thinking about giving you the job. See? The interviewer asked many questions about your skills, experience, and past work. So if the interviewer asks you many questions, it's good actually, it's good. He's asking you because the interviewer wants to know whether you can fit in the job and all that. So let's just say that your skills are good. Let's say you have no experience. You have now no experience at all. But the interviewer uh, keep asking about your experience. Then I don't know. Then maybe it may not be a very good sign. But the interviewer asks about your skill. Say you already sent your resume in. You said no experience. So if the interviewer asks about your skills, about your experience, about your work, the interviewer never asked you what you don't have. That is a very good sign. But on the other hand, if you are applying for a second or third job, and the interviewer asks you, the interviewer asked you about your past job, your experience, your skill, very good. That means the interview is really checking you out, trying to find everything. Sorry, not checking you out, checking your credential, checking your skills, how good you are. Very good sign. Because if the interviewer just listens to you, doesn't ask anything, not very good also. So when there is an interaction, interviewer very busy, asking a lot of questions, wow, it's very good. So remember, and I put there, concerns regarding your experience. Maybe your experience is on something else. Your experience is on A. Say your experience now is on something else, but the interviewer, your new job is something new. Then the interviewer may ask you, oh, you don't have any experience on this. Your experience more that side. Won't be that good. Not very good. So if the interviewer never said anything which is negative, it's a very, very good sign. So which means they didn't mention any specific concerns regarding your experience. But obviously, example, if you're applying for an IT job program, you will apply for it, they won't call you for the interview. Also, so which means once you are in the interview already, you're already on the right track. So the interviewer, I'm sure the interviewer, he or she may say, you don't have experience in this. So the interviewer says, I'm a bit worried. You don't have experience in this thing. But remember, your resume already showed it. So he or she wants to see your answer. So you need to say, I will learn. I'm a quick learner. I will learn it. Do not say, oh, sorry, cannot. So remember, in the interview, if the interviewer is talking to you something which you don't have, you must be positive and say, I will get it. Remember, they already saw your resume. So you don't need to explain what you don't have. But you need to explain or convince that you can get that part which you don't have, that experience which you are lacking, you will learn it definitely. So you don't need to say sorry at the interview. No, don't. Because they have your resume already. Hope everybody is there. It's yeah, okay. So that means now we know the interview went well. Another one. So let's see, the next slide will be, you've got another half an hour. Another one. Okay, now, so let's assume now, oh, okay, so now, we have already, I've already sort of completed what I'm going to talk to you about. So I may just go back a little bit and but meanwhile, can we have a short sharing session here where I'm sure the audience have got questions or any queries. So let's try to answer.
Okay,
Would that
yes,
be
sir.
okay? Yes, half an hour will be just nice.
Okay, sir. So we
Yes.
have two questions from the participant.
Okay.
Okay, the first one is from Caleb. So Caleb, I hope that you are here. Okay, how to answer if employees ask why you change your job every 6 months? So this person is asking actually, how do we answer if the interviewer is asking us, why do you change your job 6 months? How do we answer that, sir?
Oh, I see. So, I see. Okay. So the question is, why do you keep changing your job in every 6 months?
Yeah, exactly, sir. And he don't have other choice because he have to change his job, it seems. So how do we answer that question, sir?
Okay. All right. Okay. Now this question, number one, let me think. First thing is, if this person has been changing his or her job every 6 months for 3 or 4 times or what is one thing. On the other hand, if he or she has been changing her job every only 6 months ago, it's another story. But in my opinion, changing your job every 6 months, well, the only reasonable answer you could probably give is I've not found the job of my liking or my choice. But it'll be a very, very difficult question to answer. But remember, in the resume, the company or the interviewer already knows that you have been leaving your job every 6 months, which means you have already passed the resume already. So at the interview, maybe you can say that first thing, maybe the job did not give you enough chance to work on your skills. That means you say my skills are different. I could not give my best. That's first thing. I could not give my best. I could not give my best. That's the first thing you say. That means I change my job every 6 months because I could not give my best at those jobs, and I had to resign because I was not performing well, and I didn't want my company to suffer. I mean, I don't want my company to pay the price. Better I leave and give another better person than me who can bring the company up. So in this answer, you're telling your interviewer, I left because I felt I was not that good in that job. I was not performing my best. So then the interviewer may ask you, how do you know that you can perform your best here? Are you going to say that you're going to try here another 6 months? So it is actually, in my view, a very delicate situation. The only good thing I can see here is you were called for the interview. So when you were called for the interview, I assume that you send your resume, you already showed your every 6 months you had a different job. So the interviewer already saw your resume. Still, they called you for the interview. So then, in my mind, they didn't mind that. But they wanted to know why. So now, the only answer is you could not perform, you cannot do well there. I wanted to give my best. I couldn't, so I left. But then there again, they may say, maybe you are not a fighter. You give up too easy. So it will be not an easy battle. If someone were to change jobs every 6 months, maybe 3 or 4 times, and then you apply for the next job. I mean, I'm not saying anything negative here, but it'll be a very difficult thing to battle, unless you're at a company for 3 years or so. So unless, of course, there are also other reasons. Maybe your family moved, or because of the COVID, then I don't know. Could be. Maybe you change jobs every 6 months for 2 years because the company closed. Then it's not your fault. The company retrenched, so the company had to close, so you have to keep moving. Then it's okay. So as long as you moved because the companies you worked for had to close shop, they couldn't manage, so you had to leave. Then it's a positive note. It's not your fault, of course, especially during this COVID time. Most companies, people know. Or maybe one more thing, you left because the first job, the company cut your pay by 50% because of COVID. I mean, talking about last year. So you moved on again because you couldn't manage. The 50% pay cut was not enough for you to survive. So you had to move on to another job. But that second job also, later they cut my salary again. So let's assume. But at the same time, uh, you have to, of course, you have to explain to the recruiter why you change job. So like I said, you explain to the recruiter already why you change job, and the fact that you were called for the interview means that you have already won. That means they don't mind. That means they already accepted your reasoning. I'm talking about the interview, right? So this is my view on the question, which is how to answer if you are asked every 6 months you are moving.
All right.
That's my
Thank
answer.
you. Thank you, sir. Okay. And the next
Yeah.
question would be, sir, how to
Yes.
respond the questions by the interviewer about the employment gap, which means that after they have seen the resume and everything, they have this employment gap, which means that from the other company to this company, they're having gap. How to answer that question, sir?
All right. Okay, I get it. So the participant is asking the question, the gap. That means you left a job, say in February, and then you are applying for a job now. It's already May. You've got a 3 month gap or 2 months gap. Or correct, I got it. The gap. So the gap between jobs. Okay, I get it. So the interview asks you, how come? Did your last job was in November 2020. You left your job 20th of November. Yeah, okay. So you left your job 20th November, and now it's already March 8th. So now it's March 1st. You left 3 months ago. So meanwhile, in 3 months, you have no job. So why the gap? Why do you leave in November? Good one. First thing, you have to be honest, be very honest. I left the job in November 30th because, okay, like I said, COVID now, the company asked me to move, or the company told me, we cannot afford to pay you anymore, or the company said, we are having financial difficulties and things like that, so we need to retrench you. So whatever reason the company gave, but you have to be very honest. Tell them why you left, number one. Then the 3 month gap now, you got a gap now. Why 3 months? Can we just, honest means what? Of course, I've been applying for the past 3 months since November 30th, since I left that job. I have been applying for a lot of jobs, but But the thing is that I don't want to simply apply any job that comes along. I need to apply. I need to apply for the job which I'm suitable. I would say so. Of course, the best answer, of course, if you lost your job right due to COVID, pay cut, but then you didn't know when the company say in November 30th, the company said you have to go now, we can't, so you said okay, you left. You didn't think that you'll have this long gap. You didn't think that you will have you didn't see that you'll have to wait so long because you thought you will apply and you will get another job. I mean, after all, the gap is there because you expected that you will get a new job very soon. But it's already a gap of 3 months. But you have been applying, every time you have been applying, so you didn't actually want to, but then at the same time, you also can say maybe you took a 1 month rest to check on your new roles and trying to find yourself back. Or, okay, or maybe you are looking for a new role that suits you. You're looking for growth. So which means now, you've got a gap now, you can tell employer, during the gap, you were actually checking, asking yourself, finding out, what is your new role going to be? Maybe, in your example, give you an example, you were in the airline industry, you were asked to leave. So once you have left the airline industry, you have to really check. You have to ask yourself, what other roles can I fit in? So definitely, there's going to be a gap. And also at the same time, there are other answers. Another answer is the earlier company, I mean, there was a gap because the company you left did not promise you stability. I mean, you're not bad-mouthing them, but the company told you that we don't know when you're going to close. You can work here. I mean, you can give these answers in interview. You can give these answers why the long gap or why the gap. The earlier, my last company did not told me that you can work here, but no stability. We cannot promise you anything. We are now facing problems. We may be closing anytime because of the COVID or due to financial constraints. So I thought it's better that I resign and sit down and focus on my new role instead of sitting there at that job, performing or not performing, but there is no future, no stability. So I might as well take the gap, leave the job, come out of it, start applying for jobs which I can fit in. So that is why I've got this gap here. The gap here is not because I'm not good, but the gap here is because I'm actually looking for a more suitable role, a better role for me, because I know I'm a good worker. And I also don't like to, I mean, to sort of get a job, get employment where I don't actually have a job to do. So that is the answer I think I can give on why, if you're asked, why you have a gap in your employment.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Okay, we have another question, sir. If you are
All
planning
right.
to change to a different line, how do you convince the potential employer, for example, if you are working in a finance department and plan to apply
Yes.
for retail manager? For instance, that maybe you studied for maybe law and maybe you're going for a different line, maybe teaching. So if such questions arise, how do we answer, sir?
Okay. So now you're talking about a new role. All right.
Exactly, sir.
Example, now you are now working in the financial department, you're a financial officer. Suddenly you are applying HR or retail. Or you are now working in a legal firm, you've got a law degree. Suddenly you are applying for another company for a social media job. So this is the question. Okay, very interesting. So that means you are now Okay, so let's repeat again for the participants. Yeah. Okay, example now, you just said, I say in general. Okay, the first one is that a financial officer is working in the financial side, he's moved to a retail. But I'm going to give a general answer because specifically, you are now in the finance department, you want to move to retail. I think I will try to give a general answer for all the participants, meaning meaning now you are now at a different role. So I will rephrase the question. You are now changing jobs. That's it. You are now applying for a job which is not related to your present job. Correct. So now how do you answer? First thing, let's hope. Maybe you have a multimedia degree. Multimedia degree. The present job, you are doing human resources. So now you are applying for the second job, social media. Then you can tell the new interviewer, the new employment, I am changing job because my skills are more related to to this new job. My old job doesn't actually, I can't use my basic skills there. So the financial person, depending, let's assuming he wants to go to retail, let's assume that his degree is not a financial degree, or he feels that he cannot perform well in the financial side. So he's being very honest. So he's saying now, I'm moving on to retail because I think I can perform better in the retail side. So you're being very honest. So this is not a setback. It is actually an honest thing. So you are now, the bottom line is you want to try something new. So, and at the same time, just now, the person who said he's the financial line now, he wants to apply for the retail industry. But before the interview, he must make sure he has already read all the skills needed for the retail industry. So in the interview, he will say, in this present job, I find that I cannot perform because I've got these skills. So then when the interviewer asks, yes, I am more suitable to that. Then the interviewer will say, are you sure? Yes. Because he can even answer, obviously, I've got the stable job here now, but I'm still moving. It's because I am right now, I am giving priority to my skills, not job. He can say, I'm in the financial now, I'm happy, I'm getting my salary. But deep inside, he wants to go to another job in the retail industry where he feels his skills, with his skills, he can perform better and excel. And so he feels that he sees his future role in the retail industry. So which means now this person wants to move from finance to retail, is telling the interviewer that I see my future there. Remember I said earlier, in 5 years where you are. So he's telling the interviewer that my future is in the retail. So you can perform better there. At the same time, of course, there are many people who are now working at jobs which do not match with their degree. This is the second person who can always say, I'm actually looking for mine. But they may even ask you, then why did you take that new job? Probably you can say, I wanted to try at that time. They told me. So even now, I'm not asked to leave, but I want to leave. I'm not asked to leave. I want to live for myself. So that is the answer, I think, which is more or less should answer the question. But remember the word passion. Passion. Nothing I forgot. Yes, passion. So the person in the finance job, he can also try to convince the interviewer, my passion is with retail. That is where I know I will excel. I know. And the moment he can convince the interviewer, yes, he has read up, I think he or she on the right track. So moving from one skill to another, always remember I said earlier, research the company. So of course, this person in the finance side, he or she, of course, must have researched the company already. You have researched the company. So now, when the new retail company asks you why you are switching, you are saying you've got a passion, your skills are more for there, and I know I can do it. So this is what my view on the question just now about changing from finance to research.
Yeah, perfectly answered, sir.
Thank
All
you.
right. Yes, sir. Okay, the next question, sir. How to answer to the
Can I
interviewer?
ask a question?
Yeah, you may, you may.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello,
Yes.
sir. I'm a fresh graduate. Okay.
Okay.
If my CGPA is below 3.0, so
Okay.
how are the chances and opportunities?
Again, please. Okay, yes. 3.0, yes.
How are
Yes,
the chances and opportunities for me? And what should I say when the interviewer asks me why is your result is quite bad?
3.0.
Below 3.0.
Oh, okay. May I ask what's your degree in?
Uh, Electronic engineering.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Okay. Now, okay, I see your name, Vigneswaran. Okay, the point is, you're already an engineer. You're already an engineer right now. So the pointers all do not. Let me tell you, in my experience, looking for jobs, all these pointers do not actually come in that handy. No. But the only thing is, like I said earlier, right? When you send your resume in, you have to make your resume very impressive. Once you're called for the interview, your 3.0 below doesn't count anymore. No more. So it is your resume. So remember, do you know that even if you're first class, I mean, don't quote me, but I've also heard many companies, they are not actually very particular about first class. Many first class don't even make it to the interview. They don't want. So you see, what my suggestion to you is, make your resume very professional. You need to see, I mean, somewhere, I don't know, from somewhere, you must make your resume very professional. But do not worry about your below 3.0. No, that is not an issue here. Make your resume really very good looking, I mean, good in everything. And then your cover letter, for your resume, you must have a cover letter, okay? Number one, right? Remember your cover letter, very important. And in your cover letter or your resume, your referrals, make your former lecturers, your former students, your former lecturers, ask them to write a referral for you, that you were in university, how you were, what kind of student you were. You're a very hardworking student. Enough. That's all. The most important way. And then remember, in university, you are an engineering student, right? Vigneswaran, so you got projects, right? So in your resume, add the projects you did in your second year, first year, third year. Add all those projects in your resume. Even though you said you're below 3 or 2.80, 2.9, who cares? But add your projects, all your university, what you have done, the projects, add them all in your resume. See someone, a professional, an expert, tailor your resume, make it very good. And most important, your referrals. Get maybe 2 or 3 of your lecturers in your university to say something about you, about whatever. I mean, they are better. They will tell how you are at university, you are very cooperative, you are very hardworking, you did everything. That's it. So you get all this done, results are nothing. Remember, on the exam day, sometimes things happen, you just don't do that well. But let me tell you, your pointers will not deprive you of any job. Your resume needs to be impressive. So I repeat now, how? Make your resume impressive. Put all your second year, first year, third year, final projects in your resume. get your lecturers, 2 or 3 people who you know very well, to give you a good referral letter talking about your character, your what kind of student you were, very hardworking. That's enough, and you will secure the job. So put this out of your mind about below 3 pointer. No, nothing to do with it. So remember what I said, right? Your resume, work on it, make a good resume, and uh, get your projects. And what is that? Remember, at the interview, of course, once they call you for the interview, your pointers are nothing to worry already. Of course, you can impress them already, right? So impress them at the interview. But remember, the point is right now, like you said just now, maybe some of them may just look, oh, this is below 3. They don't call you for the interview. To cover that, put your projects in your resume, get 2 or 3 referrals, your lecturers, to say strong things about you. Once they call you for the interview, nothing to worry already. You impress them at the interview. So nothing to worry about. Below 3.0. I hope this answers the question.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. I think I can't ask you so many questions because the time is not enough for us as well. Maybe this is the last question, sir. Okay, as an individual who is seeking a placement for internship, is it wise decision to ask the interviewer during the interview a question like, is there a high chance that the company would offer interns a full-time position once completed his or her internship at the company? Will that be okay to ask during the interview section, sir?
Well, this question, well, I think if you ask me, there's nothing wrong, because the company is giving you an internship, and during the internship, you are also asking whether you will be given a chance to get a job there later. Means that you like the company, you are interested. Of course, the interviewer will be happy to answer yes, because you say, is there a chance? So the interviewer will tell you, yes, you come for the internship. But normally they will give you the answer straight away. They may tell you that, look, we are giving the internship, but right now there are no vacancies. It's a good answer. Or right now we don't need that many people here, so we will try or whatever. But asking, there's no issue. But remember, they will not give you a definite answer. Even if they have a vacancy, they are also afraid. They want to see how you're going to work. So just ask them. You can tell them, I'm really interested that at the end of my internship, I hope to be able to land a job here. And then during the internship, you show your best, give your best. So sometimes I think it's better, you can ask, but later during the internship, before it ends, you can always go and apply and ask again. But asking whether there will be an opportunity for you is no harm done. Go ahead. It only shows interest. That's it.
All right. Thank you, sir. Maybe one last question, sir.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Maybe the question of how do I answer the interviewer if I was retrenched from previous company due to pandemic? I think sir has already answered the question. So maybe this would be the last question. What is considered as negative body language when you are in an interview? What is, do you think, sir, in your opinion, what is the negative body language, the worst body language of negativity? Which do you think, sir?
Okay, correct. Well, I think the first thing is you are looking at the webcam. I'm talking about online interview. You look somewhere else. It's not good. It's like face-to-face interview. When you sit down, you look at the interviewer. You look at the interviewer all the while. So online is worse. You have to make sure you sit there for the time duration. Keep looking at the interviewer. If you look away, no. Second one, you must sit straight, full of energy, not lean against your chair like this. No. Third one, your phone, your handphone should not be there. Even if your handphone is next to you and it rings, not a good sign. So the handphone should be away. So body language, your hands are there in front, you're sitting down, looking in front, sitting straight, eye contact, eye contact, smile, calm. Smile, smile, your body language, smile, you are calm. And like I said, distracted. You look away, no good. Eye contact. Keep looking. Eye contact. Yes. Confident. So body language which is not good is you look away. The moment the interviewer online is looking at you in the webcam, suddenly your eyes, you just find he or she find you're looking away. Very bad body language. And second one, of course, you're sitting straight. See, like today now, I'm sitting for 2 hours here, you also. So you see, I'm always looking at you, which means that we don't want to show bad body language. During the time of the interview, keep sitting there and keep looking at the webcam, nothing else. So that is what we mean by good body language. So remember, so finally, don't cross your arms, no. And don't, so just sit, you can put your hands in front of you like that. Don't cross your arms. Look straight, sit up straight, like I'm doing now. Sit up straight and keep looking at the webcam. Nowhere else. Not like I'm doing today. You see now, for the past 2 hours, I keep looking. I don't look anywhere else, no. I don't want to. Because I want to show. You have to show your audience, the interviewer, that you are serious. So that is the answer I would give for negative body language. And remember, if you get if you get stuck, by the way, while you are talking, suddenly you forgot. It's okay. Just say, oh, sorry, I've forgotten our language. Okay, you're only human, so nothing to worry about making mistakes. Being serious and making mistakes are two different. So don't worry in the interview. If you say something wrongly, you can apologize, but don't show negative body language. I hope that answers.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Daljit. So before we end this section, you have any words to say to our participant who was with you since 2 p.m. till now, sir?
Okay, I think I would like to apologize for the hiccups earlier, 5 or 10 minutes. Normal, being in my age, I thought I tested everything was fine. So I'm sorry about the few minutes interruption just now. And I thank Hakim and thank you also for bearing with me and giving me the confidence by telling me, don't worry, sir, don't worry, it's okay. So it means you have really, also given me motivation. Even when I said 5 minutes, you say, never mind, take your time. So I suppose this was my first time actually today in this podcast. So it is webinar. So after this, I will definitely rectify what went wrong in the beginning. And to the participants, wish you good luck. All of you will definitely get the job. Like I said, be positive, pray to God. Things will happen. Even if you're rejected the first time, you will. Have patience, pray to God. That's right.